Welcome back to Grief Inspired. My name is Catherine McNulty, and I bring light to the darkness of grief. Today I want to talk about the pain of grief. If you're here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know the pain that you're feeling. You've become very, very familiar with it. And when you think of your loved one, it may be all that you remember. You may have been feeling so much pain for so long that it's hard to remember the good times. It's hard to remember when you felt happy. And so I want to talk about that because when I think of the pain of grief, there's two ways that I can think about it. And the way I broke it down was external pain, right? The external touches of pain that you experience as you go through the grief process. So things like when you think back, like think of the funeral. Think of the phone calls when people called to talk to you and they said something nice to you and you broke down in tears, and how it's painful to talk about losing your loved one, or listening to the readings at the funeral, or being at the funeral. Like, you remember these pains. Maybe it's, for me, I have memories of all the flowers that were at my house after my son died, the ones that then also died too, that I remember the pain of having to clean them up and throw them away as well. For me, it's a big trigger. The pain of the people around you and that uncomfortable feeling when you get with them because they don't know what to say and you don't know what to say either. Or the pain of the people who say the wrong things, who are well-intended and really want to help you, but their words can hurt you. Or the pain of being in a situation when people don't say anything at all, when they ignore the fact that you've lost somebody important to you, when they ignore their birthday because they've forgotten, when they ignore the anniversary of their death, when they ignore that even though it's 3 months and they've forgotten, that you still think about your loved one every single day. Those are the external types of pain, the pain that's coming to you because of things that are happening around you. But then there's the other type of pain, and there's that pain that sits deep within you. And I'm talking about the pain that you don't share with anyone else, the pain that you don't talk about, the pain that's a dull ache or a sharp pain on a lot of days. The one that seems to linger, the one that seems to never want to go away, the one that you wonder, will that pain ever completely subside? And this is the pain that no one sees. It's the one that hurts the most because you're not sharing it with the world. It's all internal. And it continues through your day. With everything that you do, you have these moments where you forget and you remember, and you forget and you remember, and you forget and you remember, because you have to go on and life goes on. But it's those internal moments, the internal pain that you feel that's not shared with anyone else. It's that moment in the morning that only people who have lost someone very close to them can understand. You know, that moment in the morning when you wake up and everything seems right in the world, and then you remember, and you remember your own reality? That is a pain within that if you have not lost someone, other people would never get until it happens to them. That's your pain. The memories that constantly cycle through your mind, the things that trigger you, each and every day. All of this, all of that internal pain and the external pain, but it's pain that belongs to you and you alone. And this is your grief. This is your pain. It's your guilt. It's your anger. It's your fear. It's your depression. It's your sadness. It belongs to you. And what's interesting is when it belongs to you, you can choose what to do with it. And for me, I find that liberating. So you can choose to keep it hidden and act like everything's okay and not talk about it with anyone. I don't recommend that, but you can do that because it's yours. You can choose to let it slowly take your life and shrink it down so small that you don't leave your house. I don't recommend that, but you can choose that. It's your pain and your choice to feel victimized because what the person that you lost, however you lost them, can seem so unfair. And it's your anger, and it's your fear, and it's your pain, it's your guilt. All of that, it belongs to you. But what's liberating about it for me, like I said, is that it belongs to me, which means I can choose. I can choose to suffer in silence, act as if nothing's going on. I can choose to find people to talk to. I can choose to find a community of people where I can relate to what's going on. I can choose and take responsibility for the life that I have. And even though I don't know how to move forward, and you may not know how to move forward, you can choose to just move forward. And you can get stuck in saying, I don't know how. Or you can just try. You have the responsibility to judge yourself, choose not to forgive yourself, to choose to hang on to the guilt that's eating you up inside. Or you can choose to say, this guilt is bigger than me. This anger is bigger than me. I need to find a way to let this go. How do I do that? And maybe ask for help. You can choose to continue with your life the way it was, and maybe you did everything for everyone else in your life before you lost your loved one, and you can choose to continue to do that. Or you can choose to say, this is bigger than me, and I need to put myself first. You can choose to listen to all of the shoulds, well, the things that you should do, the things that you think you should do, the things that your family tells you to do. Or you can say, this is my grief. This is my life. I'm not gonna listen to the shoulds anymore because life is short and I learned that. I'm gonna choose what's important to me. And the thing that I struggle with the most in helping so many of you is how much, and we all do it because I do it to myself too. It is the human experience to judge ourselves, to not forgive ourselves, to hang on to things, to blame ourselves, to make ourselves wrong and beat ourselves up. And we do that because we don't want to lean into the real pain. But when we lean into the pain and say, yes, I feel really guilty about this. I maybe should have done something different. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But we are where we are, and I can no longer change it. I can't change what happened. All I can do is change what happens now. I can choose to sit in my guilt. I can choose to not forgive myself or not forgive someone else. Or I can say, I'm going to choose differently today. And I'm going to work on letting this go. And every time I want to judge myself or beat myself up or blame someone else for the situation I'm in, I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to say, this sucks. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in this position. I wish my loved one was here. But this is my grief, my pain, and I do have a choice. And I'm going to choose to let my pain go. I'm going to choose to let the guilt go. And I'm going to choose to forgive myself the way I would forgive anyone else in my life. I find it so interesting that we will forgive others, but we will not forgive ourselves. And you're with yourself all the time. It's time to forgive yourself. To be okay with what is. And look out and say, where do I go from here? And you might not know. But the point is, you don't have to know. What you have to do is you have to take a step. Whatever that looks like. Maybe it's taking care of yourself today. Maybe it's writing in a journal. Maybe it's looking back at the last video that I produced, or the one that's going to come, that's about morning pages, and using that tool. Or any of the other tools. Maybe it's sitting in silence in quiet meditation, looking at a candle in the dark room and watching the flame flicker and crying your eyeballs out. Or maybe it's acknowledging that, yes, there are triggers around you that make you nuts, and saying, how can I handle that trigger next time? Maybe it's about just taking care of yourself just today, in this very moment, and putting yourself in a direction that's focused on healing, that's focused on processing your grief, that's focused on letting some of the pain go, letting the guilt go, letting the anger go, letting the judgment go. Because the law of attraction says that what you focus on will bring more of. So if you focus only on your pain, only on your guilt, only on the judgment that you have for yourself, that is what you will receive more of. So I want to encourage you just to try it out. That the next time you feel guilty and you want to just blame yourself and you feel that self-loathing kicking in, and I know you know what I'm talking about because we all do it. Instead of doing that, remind yourself that you're enough, that you deserve to let go of the pain, that you deserve to be happy again, that your loved one wouldn't want this for you, that you are enough. You are worthy of healing. You are worthy of being happy again. You deserve the rest of your life to be magnificent. Whatever that looks like for you, you deserve it. We're going to talk in some following videos about faith, whether you believe in God or not. I'm going to share some of my thoughts and my opinions. I haven't done it, but I'm going to because I think it's an important conversation. So all of these things, the point of all of this is that internal pain, the one that you feel, the one that you know so well, it belongs to you. You are the keeper. You are the one who can decide what happens next. And if you need help in that, reach out to me. That's why I'm here. That's why I do these videos. Because somebody reached out to me and someone helped me. And it was far easier when I got to the point of deciding that I was worthy of accepting their help. I was worthy of accepting their support. And I want that for you too. So have a great day and we'll talk to you. in the next video.